Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, April 6th, and this is In Case You Missed American History. If you're watching this, that means that you weren't able to make it to class today in person or online. And you know what? That's okay. Hope you're doing well. Hope those around you are doing well. I hope that you had a good spring break and, at least logged in yesterday and checked out your stuff. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to run you guys through everything, well, mostly everything that we talked about in class today to make sure that you're kind of in the know about what happened. So here we get going. Today's might be a little bit longer because I'm going to run you guys through a bunch of stuff. We'll kind of see how it goes. Okay. All right. So some reminders. There are some supplies to pick up for some of you guys. I know obviously if you are coming to school in person, you'll see those things when you come in the door, whatever day that might be. But if you are not, if you're in, cohort 3, people who are home all the time, there might be some stuff out in front for you. I'm sure that your teachers will let you know if they've left some things for you. So please make sure and get in and get those picked up. I know there's a bunch of school pictures sitting out there still, so I'm sure you can probably drop in anytime, and get those things. Obviously, if you're watching this, you know that I do the In Case You Missed It videos. I'm going to do my best to post one every day, although this quarter is going to be a little crazier for me. I have you guys, I have Psychology 1 class and a Psychology 2 class, so filming 3 different videos every day might be a little bit difficult, but I'll do the best I can. Okay, really quick, I wanted to go through some of the highlights of the class rules and grading policy stuff. I know you guys were with me once already this year, but it's been a while for most of you, so here we go. Okay, so you've all got a document like this shared with you in classroom. I think it's the very first thing I shared, so it's all the way down at the bottom. And basically what it does is it covers the goals. We talked about this already. The people that were in third quarter that were the 8A people, we got to today. It's going to be a little bit of a race. It's going to be a little bit hectic. But we are going to get from the progressive era to today, this quarter. We're going to go pretty quick. We're going to move really fast, but it's just going to kind of be the way that it is. As far as the rules go, remember that, if you're at home, obviously, I think the biggest thing is to make sure you're logged on and trying to be as active a participant as you can be. And, if that means you want to have your camera on, that'd be great. I love seeing you guys. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, I understand. As far as you guys are going to be here, I think the biggest things to share with you, and I know you probably know this from last quarter, is please make sure you're wearing your masks when you're in my classroom. Do your best to stay distanced. The CDC has it at 3 feet now, and can't have any food in the classroom. I can have water. I have my water bottle with me right now. You can, move your mask to the side to take some quick drinks, but I would appreciate it if you guys would stay masked as much as possible. Otherwise, go ahead and take a look through those rules. I don't think there's anything there that's different than it was first quarter or second quarter, depending on when I had you. So if there's anything there that you may have a problem with or a question about, please make sure and ask. The other thing I wanted to bring to your attention was the grading policy stuff. Remember that in history, we do have 3 standards. We have historical content, historical communication, and then research and analysis standard. Each one of those is going to be 1/3 of your grade. In the final thing, they're all weighted equally. I update grades as often as I can. I work pretty hard for you guys, so I try to keep things pretty up to date. Obviously, right now, there's nothing in there, but I think you guys you remember how I did things before. I usually let you know. I made sure and tell you to check Infinite Campus. Late work, I will take late work. Obviously, we're trying to be a little bit flexible on this, but I would appreciate as much of the work getting in on time as possible. On the grading end of things, remember that I do my best when I grade things to give you good feedback about things you're doing well and things that maybe need some work. And you can always go back and improve those things, use the feedback to do a better job and get a new grade. You just have to resubmit things. The rubrics obviously tell you what you've got to do to get different levels of things. It's going to be right here for you whenever you need it. So please make sure and take a look. And, obviously if you're thinking, I want to get a 3, read what you've got to do to get a 3. Okay. All right. Some daily information. Obviously, in case of absences, I'm going to post videos like this most days so you can find them. They'll be posted in classroom under like a tab that'll say like in case you missed American history and then the date, in this case 4/6. Okay. I'm not doing office hours right now because there just isn't enough time in the day for that. So if you need help, if you need to contact me for something, obviously there's a bunch of different ways you can get a hold of me. You can email me, you can chat me, Google chat me, you can video chat me using the Google video chat. Obviously my phone number is down below. You could text me. Make sure if you text me that you include who it is so I know what's going on. But obviously my goal is to get back to you as soon as I can. Now, obviously I sleep. So, if you text me or message me at 2:00 in the morning, I'm not going to get back to you right away on that one. So there you go. All right. So that's that. If you got any questions about any of those things, please make sure and let me know. We do have an assignment due on Monday by midnight that's called Progressive Sweep the Nation that I loaded in yesterday. I know some of you guys got started on that already. Now, as far as Mondays go, at least at the current moment, Mondays are going to be asynchronous days for the rest of the school year. I think we have 9 weeks of school in the fourth quarter. We've already used up one Monday. I think one of the Mondays is Memorial Day, so I think we'll have 7 more asynchronous learning days. Because of that, make sure you understand that my expectation is that you get up at whatever time you get up and you check your Google Classrooms. Now, most of the time on Friday, I'm going to tell you what my expectations for Monday are. A lot of our assignments are going to be due on Monday by midnight. So you're going to have like the week to work on it, but then you're going to have like Monday to finish up if need be and get it in. We can also use Monday to catch up. I may occasionally give you a test on a Monday where I load a Google form in on a Monday for you to take a test. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. Obviously on Mondays, I'm working all day. So if you need me, I am just a message away. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the very start of the progressive era, get going right away, kind of hit the ground running. And then I'm going to give you guys some work time. And as always, if you guys have any questions, please make sure and let me know. I don't read minds yet, so I don't know necessarily what you may want or need unless you ask me. Okay? All right. Now, as far as the note stuff goes, I'm not going to change my tune from first quarter. If you want to write things down, that's great. But if you want to do screenshots, that's awesome too. If you're watching this video, there is going to be a test on the progressive era. So you are going to want to have notes that you'll be able to use. So, it might not be a bad idea to be doing screenshots as we go. If you are one of the people who's in attendance at school, I would obviously advise, getting a lot of this written down. Today, there isn't very much to write. So where we're picking up around 1900, 1905. And we're going to look at the progressive era, a time when it's been a while since we've had American history together, which kind of stinks. But where we left off, things were going relatively well for the country. We had just won a war. We had just added territory. People were feeling pretty good about things, but we still had a lot of problems. And so what I need you guys to understand is when things are going well, there are kind of two kinds of people. There are people that sit back and relax and go, wow, look how awesome this all is. And then there are people that go, wow, this is really awesome. I'm really lucky to be in this spot. But there are still some things that need work, okay? And the progressives were people that were like, wow, things are moving in a really positive direction for the country, but there are still a lot of issues within the country that need to be solved. And maybe now, since there's no, war or a big thing going on, maybe now would be a good time to work on some of those things, okay? All right, so life during the progressive era was, I don't know, I guess it'd be one of those time periods I'd look at maybe going back to if I had a time machine. But they did have their fair share of problems, okay? Child labor, sanitation, clean water, women's rights, racism, working conditions for workers. The rich were super rich, the poor were really poor. I think that they probably shared a lot of issues that maybe we still try to tackle today. But I think that they tried to make some headway into solving some of these things. And with those problems, those have been things that have been problems for a very long time, and obviously some of them still are. And so the question is, who's supposed to help the people? Who is supposed to jump in when X number of million people can't come up with a solution? Who's supposed to jump in and help? Now, if you were thinking, or if you said the government, you're right. There's a problem with that, okay? And that problem is on the next slide. And that's that the government's in a weird spot. And people can say this about the government all the time. The government is kind of, people that get elected need money to get elected. And so they rely on businesses. They're controlled by money. And sometimes that money can slow things down in the government or can make sure that things don't get done. So when you look at like this political cartoon, take a look at it. You've got Uncle Sam, the symbol of America, blindfolded, being forced to walk the plank by some pirates. Now, those pirates have names on them. You can't see all of them, but those are all big business owners at that time, all rich men. And they are making the government or the country walk the plank, stay under their control. They're standing on the flag. So the flag obviously isn't important to them. And they're raising the flag of trust or big business up. Now, on the skull, all right, on the Jolly Roger, on the skull says labor. So what we're kind of looking at here is the big business people were willing to step on America and hold the government hostage while raising up their own ideas above everything else and keeping labor down. Okay. And so there's a lot to take in this thing, but I think it's kind of a good understanding of how people felt. Okay. And so when it comes to government, we've got some goods and bads. One of the things that seems to be working is when we get a strong president. That diagram on the left, that picture on the left is Teddy Roosevelt. When we get a strong individual like Teddy Roosevelt, we can get a lot done. We can make a lot of positive change because Roosevelt was this character that people believed in and that people who didn't do things the right way in a way kind of feared. And he wasn't afraid to make waves. He wasn't afraid to irritate the people with money to do what he thought was right. However, one of the things that needed to change was that the money is obviously important. And you can see in that diagram on the right, you've got the big businessman with the bag of money in his pocket standing over the U.S. Capitol where laws are being made. And Uncle Sam and Lady Justice, she says law, she's got the sword, are reaching up. I don't know if they're asking for money, if they're asking for help. I'm not sure. I think you can interpret that however you want to. But that part of things have to change, okay? Think about it this way. If some super rich Hollywood person, or if Elon Musk or Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg wanted to go in and see the president today, would they maybe be able to get in? Okay. Would you? I don't think so. So as we're looking at this, kind of understand that the progressives are trying to overcome a deck that's stacked against them because the government is, I don't want to say they're on the take from big business, but they definitely rely pretty heavily on them for things. Now, last slide. Progressive attitudes. First of all, they were optimistic. If you know what that means that the glass is half full. It's not half empty. It's not going to spill. Optimists see the good. They see during the progressive era that things are going well in the country, but there are still problems to be solved. And rather than ignoring those things, they said, we are the people that can solve these problems. Where others have failed before us, we can do this. They thought the timing was really important. The progressive era runs from 1900 to 1915, and they thought that this 1900 was a new start. They thought the fact that things were going well meant that they could get anything done that they wanted to. They believed in an idea called social gospel. Now, if you remember back to American history, the first semester, we talked about social Darwinism, the idea that the strong should be in charge and that they're better than everybody else, that the rich are better than the poor. Well, progressives didn't believe in that. They believed in an idea called social gospel, that it was the duty of people to help out people less fortunate than them. That if I have 2 sandwiches and you're hungry, I should eat one and give you the other. All right. That if by taking care of you and making your life better, I'm actually making society better for myself. Okay. They thought their mission was a righteous one. They thought they were doing the right thing. They thought by trying to solve racism and getting women the right to vote and getting rid of child labor and getting kids to good schools, that they were making society better. They also felt that information was power. They didn't want to tell you how to solve problems, but they wanted to give you enough information that you could decide what you felt passionate about and how you could make a change. Okay. And last but not least, they thought the change had to be driven by regular people. They thought the regular people had to be the ones that made the change work, because if I tell you what to do, or if I tell you what to think, you're not going to be as passionate about it as if you come up with it yourself. Okay, so your job for the rest of the time is to work on Progressive Sweep the Nation. So I hope you're well. I hope to see you tomorrow. If you have any questions about anything, please make sure and let me know. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.